So a lot of the time people are asking me on social media that, Phil, I'm studying drama, or I want to go study drama, and I want to know how to get my ideas on television, you know. And I always say to them that there are certain people who actually get to have shows on television, not just anybody. You have to be a producer to be able to put a TV show on an actual TV. So I decided to invite somebody to come and talk to us and educate us about the process of getting these things to happen. Somebody who's been in the business long enough, who has the expertise and who knows who's who of the industry. Brenda Mukwevo, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Yeah. So let me just not speak for you. Mm-hmm. You tell my people, who are you, what do you do, and how long have you been in the industry and your experience?
Sure. Okay. So I think from my memory, I've been in the industry for a good, I could say 18 years.
Yeah.
If I'm including the processes of getting into the industry by studying. So I studied at the National School of the Arts and I majored in drama, obviously. So then there was acting, performance focused. And then from there, I went to Tshwane University of Technology and I did musical theater there. And then we sub-majored in directing. After that, I was doing my final exam, where they invite outside producers and agencies and whatnot. That's when I got picked up by Peter Turin. And then I started performing at the, the theater there by Monte Cassino.
The Teatro?
Yeah, well, it was before the Teatro. Before the Teatro, there was the other smaller theater. It's actually known as the, what's his name? Richard Loring. Yes. So I performed there, and my first performance was Jesus Christ Superstar, and it was really an eye-opener in how much needs to go into performance. Because when you're at school, it's easy, it's light, But when you need to just be present for 7 nights in a row for people who are paying, it's quite intense. So that's where, then I got picked up again. But then I went off to perform internationally with African Footprint.
I remember African Footprint, yes.
I was one of their lead singers there. I did Germany, India, Morocco, a couple of places which really exposed me to what the arts are really entailing. And then I came back here and Dumagantovu picked me up when I was auditioning for Lion King. Yeah. And he's like, listen, I've got a perfect role for you on Mubango, because I am Venda, but they killed it for a good 4 years just acting. And then I was like, nah, man, I feel like I need to do more. Then I got into the casting directing, I got into the directing, and they trained me to direct. That's how I shifted. Okay. It's a lot.
You've done basically everything. You sing, you act, you direct, you did. And I love how you just say, Peter Turing, and then you just, that's a big name. You just, Peter Turing. And they just move away from that. That is such, here's the thing, guys. If you are into musical theater, if you are into performing arts in general in South Africa, that is a big name. I mean, it's like the Dumagantovu. That is a big name. Yeah. Just, Peter Turing picking me up. But anyway.
It was Peter Turing and Richard Loring who gave me an opportunity to be on stage and travel the world, to be quite honest. And then I came back, and then as I thought I was going to go back into theater, auditioning for Lion King, that's when the theatre was being opened. And then he poached me from there, the old man. And that's when I started acting on Mubango and training as a director and casting director. And then I spread my wings. I left. At the time, I was also doing like sitcoms for SABC. So I'd be directing some sitcoms. I'd be acting on some of them. Like I directed those. Perfect Family, I directed some of those, I did a stint on Mzala. As a very ditty character. That was refreshing. But then I completely stepped away from acting and I decided I really wanted to pursue the whole directing thing, and I fully focused on directing from Nkaba. And then from there, I spent like 5 years directing at Rhythm City. Until then, I was picked up by Stained Glass, and I relocated to KZN to creative direct Uzalo. Got some really, really good numbers when I was there, when it was under my leadership. Shifted it from like 8-point-something million viewers to 11.6 million viewers, which has never been seen on local soapy television shows. So that was like quite an achievement for me. And from there, then I came back and I set up the estate on SABC3. And then from there, then I moved on to Bomb Shelter to set up. And now I'm still working at House of Zwide as the creative producer for House of Zwide.
Okay. Quite a resume, clearly. So with this conversation, you know what you're talking about, you know. And
I think so.
And I love that you've been through all the facets of the industry. You know what I mean? So you are exposed to all the avenues that lead to, you know, the perfect, you know, storm that is, you know, actually having a television or a film.
Perfect storm.
Yeah. And all of that. So let's take it to the beginning. What does it take to become a producer? How do you become a television producer?
Sure. Producing encompasses so much in a way that the school of thought that you need to come from is one that is very hungry. You know, you need to be hungry to learn. Because even when you're producing your own show, I don't think we ever get to the point where you're like, I've perfected this thing of producing. Yeah. You learn every day because remember, our industry, especially filmmaking, comes with ups and downs. Yeah. It comes with budget issues. You might have under budgeted and you've agreed to client that, you know what, I can deliver this thing. Yeah. But then you've got budget issues. Then from there, casting, you might experience a situation where the availability of your cast is not always to you. So now you need to share. Your schedule is affected. How do you manage all those things? Your directors, how they interpret what is on paper to the best of their ability so that they make sure that the vision that has been sold by you as a producer to client, which is the different channels, is going to be correct because there's still those things. A director can make a boo-boo because they understand things a certain way. And remember, this industry is very much, there's not much right or wrong, but there is that thing that is communicating with what was written on paper and what was sold. And client will be very hard and very hectic with once they've put out the money to say, listen, I wanted this, you sold me that, now you're giving me this, I don't know what this is. So it encompasses so much that you are learning on a daily basis. You're learning from your actors. You're learning from agencies who are bringing the actors to you. You're learning from a director who's coming in to do the job and leave. You're learning from your team, the production team, how they manage the transportation, how everything comes together really relies on a producer.
But a quick one though, what is the difference between an executive producer, a producer, whether it's a series producer or whatever, and a line producer?
So in my layman term understanding, I would say that a line producer is the one who manages your money. Okay. The person who's responsible, who the production company and the channel have said, okay, this is the best person who's going to manage the money. Yes, Brenda, you can come as a producer and say, I want to shoot at that location and it's costing us 35,000 a day. That person can say, no, doesn't match with what I've sold to channel. I'm going to be over budget. So where do we find more money or money from somewhere else to make sure that we're not over budget or to make sure that we're not under budget? So the line producer really does follow through with managing the money side
line
of things.
items.
Line items. They are known as the line items guys. You know what I mean? You're right. They're known as the line items people because they will tell you, okay, we've exhausted that line item. But maybe I can pull from that other line item, but I need to answer to it. So they're very stringent and very strict in trying to make sure that at the end of the production, you are not excitable as a creative, because a creative producer on the other side, we are excitable. We are
the ideas guy.
The ideas guys. Right. This is where we come up with how a helicopter is going to be shot and then it's going to spin and crash wherever. How much does it cost to crash a helicopter, you know? And if it was part and parcel of the agreement in the first place, what is the best way for a line producer to make that happen for you as a creative? So there's nothing wrong with creatives being wild. You know, we're young at heart. It's very good because it means that you're willing to explore as much as you can to get the best product. But we need to be managed as well. So the line producer will do that.
Executive producer?
Executive producer gets tricky in some ways because other executive producers are holistically the originators of the story, right? So they actually possess the rights and they possess what it is to own the story, the IP, and the idea. but some are hired as executive producers. So you didn't necessarily birth the concept. You coming in as an executive producer. And most of the time, executive producers are chosen by, you'll hear when the interviews happen, channel will have an influence or have a say on who is the best person to be the executive producer for that show. But if the show is yours, then on the other hand, you are the one who has the in and out and basically the day-to-day communication with the channel or your client that you're dealing with on the project that you're working on. So you basically own the IP. It's yours. You came up with it. You own it and you work on it. And as much as people think that executive producers walk around with millions in their pockets, it's not true to the story.
Well, to some
degree. Listen, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because as an executive producer, you're taking on the responsibility of the losses and the gains. And most of the time, people think executive producers are the most paid on a daily basis. No. In fact, sometimes the executive producers are paid after the product is done, when all the bills have been, you might have a line item which is very minimalistic for the duration of shooting of the show. But afterwards, when you've delivered everything to channel, then they'll say, okay, fine, this is your production fee. This is what you did as a profit. And sometimes you might find that you yourself chowed into that because you have too much losses. And they're like, well, we need another 3 million back from you because...
Okay, so you see, that's news to me. That's one thing that I've learned from this conversation. First one.
Yeah.
Jabu?
I don't necessarily have a question. I'm actually shocked by experience.
No, it's very fascinating. Yeah. So let's talk about, okay, cool. So now I'm Phil, I've got an idea, right?
Yeah.
I haven't worked for a production company.
Yes.
At all. I have an idea and I want to get that idea from my head to the paper. And let's say I've managed to put it on paper. Now I need to get that idea to a commissioning editor. What's that process?
So when you want to take that idea to a commissioning editor, I will ask the first question.
Yeah.
What makes you think that your project is worthy to be seen by a commissioning editor? But that's just from my perspective, how I work. I ask myself, what makes me think that my project is good enough to be on screen? Because I just want to demystify this whole thing that we are all writers. I want to demystify this whole thing that we are all actors. But I don't want to dishearten.
Yes.
Right? You've got people around you. You've got people who you know are in the industry. Reach out first before you think your project is worthy to see a commissioning editor. Because you know what? The most painful rejection that you will get is when you are sending off things that are incorrectly packaged. And then you don't understand why you're being rejected.
Yeah.
But you feel that you've got the greatest idea. What I would advise is that there are places like the NFVF. There's Gauteng Film Commission, KZN Film Commission. There's different government institutes that give you the stepping stone for you to get an opportunity to be workshopped, to get an opportunity to get the advice, and to get an opportunity for you to actually get access to financing for you to build this thing before you think it's ready to go to a commissioning editor. For those who are in the industry and they're professional enough, and they've gone through the tough times of being rejected and being questioned and getting opinions and sharpening their skills in how to put together a proposal that you can take to an Mnet or Mzansi or wherever. Then you've got your thing. I always put my ideas with a writer. I always believe that it's better to have somebody who has got the skill to do the justice to the document. So you need a writer to put it, because the structures, they will ask you what your log line, your tagline, your world of story, your character bios, your character breakdowns. What is the creative concept? And then you go down into the director's creative on how you're going to tell the story. And sometimes it's not the holistic document that needs to be taken to people. It's just that first part, which is your log line, tagline, world of story, your character breakdowns. And if you're just going to write a one-pager and send it, sometimes those people, imagine how many people are submitting on a daily basis. So rather get your document proper before. Fine, you go on the systems. So there's There's platforms, your Showmax have got platforms.
Yeah, these portals,
These
we
portals.
can submit,
Submit there and then hope that you will be picked up, you know. It's not some miracle where we are walking down the street and then some commissioning editor says, oh, Brenda Mukwevho, oh, can you send me your... No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And I might send, as I am a producer in the industry, I might send and I might still be rejected. Yeah. Because guess what? It's not always what I'm writing or what I want to send to them is not always what they're looking for.
Yes.
So we need to understand the timing of what is trending right now. We need to understand, is for them, what are they making? Is yours value enough for them to...
Yeah, it's what they call the ROI, return on investment.
You know what I mean? Yes. What is the return of investment? Does it speak to their audience? Yeah. Is that where they are at the moment? You want to push a comedy, a sitcom, and they're saying, no, we want...
Our slate right now does not fit.
No, we want something... No, we want... Series, you know what I mean? They want other things that you are not really giving them at that point. Yeah. So you will get rejected, but that doesn't mean that your work is not good enough. You just need to understand the market, where it is, where it's moving. If they want a reality show that is not about excitable young kids and they want something that's more solid and informative and talks about where the roots of the biggest musicians of South Africa come from. That's what they want at that time. They're not looking for 6 young girls and 6 young boys running around in the streets. Yeah. So you need to understand when you're taking your work to certain platforms, what is their trend? Yeah.
I hope you're in a good mood, ne? Because we have some fun and talk about other topics. I just want to get off the serious stuff out. Okay. What do you think are the biggest tools that one ought to have to be able to be a successful producer in South Africa?
The biggest tools is, I think, discernment in understanding as a producer, the people that you bring in as your team, how do you hone their strengths as a producer? Yeah. So if you have a team that works for you, how do you best maximize on their strengths and rather not focus on the weaknesses? Yeah. Okay, Phil is very good at coming up with concepts, but you want to insist to make him deal with numbers. Yeah. Why? Make him focus on the concepts, because guess what? At the end of the day, as a producer, you've got a strong conceptualizer in your room, in your writing room. Then you keep him there. And then maybe Phil later on realizes that in my ability of being such a great conceptualizer, maybe I actually am really good at being a director. Give him the opportunity to then start training. Producers really in South Africa are doing that. They're giving opportunities to the young people who come in hungry to want to learn, who want to expand themselves. I wouldn't be where I am if the producers that I worked for didn't give me and allow me the platform to expand myself. I can say, and using, for a lack of a better word, saying, I just started as an actress, a theater actress. Yeah. And now I can say, I am a fully fledged creative producer who has got the understanding and can soon become an executive producer.
Yeah. And you know what? And I say this with the best of caution that I can muster right now, because there is a lot of exploitation in the industry or any other industry that we have in the world and whatever, right? But I feel like young people right now are so conditioned by the expectation of their social lives, the Instagram life, that there's that hunger of wanting to go volunteer, at a production company so they can earn some skills. Yes. That hunger of wanting to say, Sis Brenda, can I come and be your assistant so that I can learn from you, how you go about your life and hopefully get some skills that will get me into the it's I don't feel like it's there anymore. I feel like, and I understand, what's internship, whatever. I get that, right? I get that, but I also feel like if we lose that sense of if I want to get somewhere, I need to do what I can that does not debase me or take away my morals to be able to get there. If I've got the time and I'm just sitting at home and I've got the resources to be able to go volunteer or to be able to go be an intern with somebody who's in the industry, go do that.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Tabo and Miriam because they've got certain circumstances that suits them.
Yes.
I feel like if we can bring back that conversation, because people are afraid to talk about it now, because the moment you say that, especially on social media, it's like, oh yeah, you want our people to be exploited. And all of that. But I feel like there's a benefit to that. And also, I feel like the benefit of learning in the job is that by the time you actually get into the job seeking phase of your life, you've already got the skills, you've already made the contacts.
Yes.
Understand? So when you are now looking for a job, you've done something called Eben Brew. Somebody knows you call Eben Brew. So when you walk into the thing, interview or whatever, you go, oh, it's you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, I feel like we don't do enough of that to tell people that, but I understand why we don't, because social media.
No, listen, social media has come with huge changes in our industry. This fast-paced lifestyle that it brought in has really, from my opinion, somebody else will think, because you are there, you're speaking like that. Believe you and me, we come from the generation and the age of learning on the job, exposing yourself, going and knocking on a door to say, listen, I would like to do this. When I'm saying I was acting on Mubango while casting, directing, I wasn't getting paid for the casting directing. I asked Babundlovu, can I please take part in such? And he saw the interest and he's like, go for it. From there, he then thought, okay, the way you communicate when you are in an audition room with a performer, it's actually quite strong. Maybe you're very strong at performance direction.
No.
Come, let me give you a chance and you can become a director.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting paid. But now I got a job where I then started training as a director. He literally killed my character, Lufuno.
Yeah, so that you can kill
and I think it's the best thing that he ever did. I was resenting it. I was not happy because I couldn't see. There are some people who are really talented enough to pull out the strength in you, but you also need to show up. So this age that we live in of everything is on fast forward.
Yeah, it has to happen now. I went to AFDA, so I deserve a career.
Listen, even the AFDA students are way better because listen, they sit in the classroom. There's that thing where the person is sitting in their room and they are now miming or imitating a character, a scene from Dorothy from last night. And then somebody says, oh, you're such a great performer. The next thing they are on I don't know, whatever brand, pushing a brand and getting paid thousands of rands. I am not saying there's anything wrong with influencers. But what I'm saying is when you've got that platform and the opportunity to be doing something like that, then go and reinvest.
Yes.
Spend some time with somebody who's going to coach you because the seasons come and go. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The season of influencer, we don't know how long it's gonna exist. Maybe social media will start having robots. And then what happens to you then? They'll have robots advertising things. What then? But artists who hone their skills, who work hard to sharpen their skills on a daily basis, who are formulated, understand, or I need to learn 1, 2, 3, 4 before I can get to that point, are the ones that have sustainability. I could say it's a cutthroat industry. It's even harder when it comes to performing because it's not every day you're going to walk into a room and you're going to do an audition, you'll get the job. Your friend can get the job. And then you keep moving, you keep doing it. But then this age that we live in, it's like everything must be quick, must be fast-paced. And I still respect those that really come from an age of having to learn, understand, give your time, give your energy, your blood, sweat, and not necessarily be driven by money. We all need money. I'm not saying we don't need money. I need money. But what I'm saying is if you're really hungry for it, go knocking to these doors and saying, listen, if you guys can just give me transport money, I'm good to come to work. I want to learn. What that does is a producer will see your hunger and say, okay, fine. Maybe for the 6 months, I'll deal with you're getting to eat because there's obviously catering at work and you're getting transportation. Then 6 months down the line, when they're seeing that you're actually mastering where they've placed you, then they're like, okay, would you be interested? I mean, we'll start you at the beginner's income.
Yeah.
You've got a job. You've got a job as a continuity, as a standby assistant for wardrobe, as a boom swinger, as a cable basher, as a assistant to. There's so many opportunities in our industry. And what disheartens me is when I get the DMs and the messages that only say, yo, Sis Brenda, I can kill this role. Okay. But how many are you going to stand in a row with that are qualified?
Yeah.
But what else are you exposing yourself to? The industry is big, guys.
Yeah.
As much as we say it's a small industry, it's big in career. It's big. There's continuity.
Yeah.
There's casting directors. You can be an agent. Stop robbing people, though. Stop robbing people.
Yeah.
People must not pay to be in your agency. You must stop doing this thing of taking advantage of young, uninformed kids. And also you young, uninformed kids, get information before you get involved and rushing off to a building with a couch and then you find yourself in trouble. Always double check with people who know what you need to do.
Yeah.
There's more than enough information in our industry.
You know what? You just said something before I forget it that I love. When you're saying that get information.
Yes.
Because what I find a lot of the time is that these young people will go and I want to be an actor. Oh, I studied wherever. But they are following people who have nothing to do with the business, where they're getting information that has nothing to do with enhancing what they want, to do with the business. So if you want to be part of it, follow our actor space, people, where you know that the information that you're going to get on there, it's credible information from credible people within the industry. And I think our educating oneself before expecting to be given information, it's actually much more important, I would think, than anything else. Brenda, I want to talk about your work at House of Zide.
Okay.
I try not to make my guests uncomfortable because our industry is full of NDAs and what, so I'll try not to get you into trouble. But one thing that I wanted to mention to you, and hopefully we can talk about it, is the fact that I'm looking at Unikiwe and how the show started and things were not going well, but they were given a chance, whatever. And I always say to people, they could have the trajectory that House of Zide had, because when you were a new show, you had numbers that were like, new show numbers, and they kept on climbing. They kept on climbing as you gained your own audience. And at some point, you were beating established shows that have been on air for a long time. Do you think, though, that broadcasters in the country have enough confidence in producers to be able to give them that leeway, or were you guys just lucky to be able to be given that time to grow with an audience or to amass an audience as you grow?
Sure. That's such a tricky question. What are you doing? Okay, no, listen, I'll be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try my best to not be offensive.
Yes. Please don't. Yes. We want people to still come here.
Because I can't as well.
Yeah.
I haven't reached a point in my life where I can speak and offend somebody because who do I think I am? But what I do think is that if you look at, you're talking about Nikiwe, for example.
Yes.
I do think I'm very proud of ETV, first and foremost, for giving a platform to young producers and sticking by them and pushing them. First and foremost, the time slot of Nikiwe is a beast of a time slot, right? And I do think that the production company is doing its best to make sure that it tells the story the best way possible. Yeah. Listen, it's very hard to say that one is better than that one. And yes, numbers do count, but it is what you are dealing with on that time slot that counts more. They're dealing with a beast of a slot. And I'm not saying our slot is not a beast as well. It's hectic because we are competing with the isiZulu news. Yeah. And people watch news, you know what I mean? But what I can speak only on my side of what I've experienced with Bomb Productions. There's a thing about how Bomb does their productions. Desiree is very good at, hey, and it'll be on that pot, and we crash on a normal basis. On a normal day, we crash, right? And it gets smooth. Desiree will crash that thing until it looks like it was crushed by a machine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the skill she possesses in knowing exactly how she wants to tell a story, what is the target audience, who are the people that she wants to work with, what gaps and what is it that we can do that's extra. Remember the show that we're doing, House of Zwide is a show that has got a show within a show. Because it's a normal telenovela, but inside that telenovela, we're also telling a story of fashion, which is a whole branch on its own, where you need to understand what fashion is. You're not just telling a normal day-to-day show. And I'm not saying that's easier to do. I'm saying you're telling a story with a backdrop that is already so established in South Africa. The commentary that comes with that is like, oh, so you guys need to actually really invest in research, in getting it right. And I'm not saying we're going to get all of it right, but the moment you understand your audience and the moment you understand the journey of the DNA of your story from beginning, because sometimes you find that you get a bit shaky. You lose it now and then. 260 episodes is not a child's play. It really is not child's play for 11 to 12 months.
Yeah.
It's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time on air. It's you basically are coloring a canvas that's infinite. You know. So when it comes to that, we are consistently trying to challenge and raise the bar from the one before. Yeah. I mean, I can speak about our last wedding. Yeah. Somebody said to me, hey, you guys look like you were trying to experience your own weddings personally, you know? And it looks glamorous. It looks expensive. It's in how the production company has got the skill to make sure that it looks like that, because they understand, they have relationships, they know how to source certain things. We've got creatives who are designers in the company who sit there and their job is to design clothes that are going to go on air. We've invested in that. Yeah. You know, we could have easily just said, and go buy. No, it's an important part of the DNA of the show. We need to invest time. We need to invest finances to make sure that the fashion part that we're saying we're going to tell as a story to the rest of the country is legit. Yeah. You know, every single garment that you see on our show that is on stage as a fashion show has been created in-house. Okay. Every single garment. Now and then there'll be a garment that has been sourced from a Teba Magugu. Because again, remember, we want to bring in the real designers that we have and also celebrate them. So when you say to me, how do different shows work, and is it a good idea that the production, your platforms, your ETVs are giving a chance? I do think that it's a good thing that your ETVs, your showmaxes are giving new producers or young producers that are not as established as a bomb an opportunity. Because guess what? When they do that, then it means it opens up the industry. Yeah. There's more work. There's more soapies. There's more telenovelas. There's more dramas. There's more films. Have you seen? You saw now. There's a lot of work that's coming. That's coming up. Yeah. And South Africa right now, and I think with Netflix being around, it's pushing everybody to have an opportunity. Whether it's the greatest or not, that's a conversation for another day. Yeah. The point is, South Africans are telling their stories in their own voice, and it's being watched by their own people, which we have yearned for in a very long time. And I encourage the young people who can put paper to pen or pen to paper. Which one? Paper to pen. Pen to paper. Pen to paper and write something. Take your chance and go knock on someone's door and say, I've got this. Can we partner up? Yeah. So I it's a challenge. It's a tough one. These slots are really challenging, but I do think if we want to grow the industry, especially when it comes to film and storytelling, it is good that these platforms are being opened up for other young producers. Yeah. And when I say young, I'm not saying young by age. I'm saying young as in maybe you've done 3 projects. That is a film, a short series, and now you're getting an opportunity to do a telenovela. I'm so happy when things like that are happening.
Yeah. So in terms of education, guys, like Brenda said, you know, there are platforms like the NFBF. We had the lady from the NFBF on our previous episode, where you can go and look at what they like. Even MultiChoice has their MultiChoice Factory, Talent Factory.
Yes.
And they've got these workshops that these organizations are having where you can go educate yourself. Because my final question to you to wrap this up was going to talk about protection of copyright and protection of IPs, right? But I feel like we covered that with telling people how they need to educate themselves. Because I believe that if you don't educate yourself about the industry and how the industry works, then you wouldn't know that you can't just send your concept in jail willy-nilly and then cry foul later.
Listen, I because people see me doing what I do, they feel like they can send me their stuff. And I always say, rather put down an NDA for me to sign so that you don't come to me and say, you took my idea. Yeah. Ideas are very easy to be similar.
There's nothing new under the sun. That's what we say in the business.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun.
I always say, just be careful before you send out stuff. I might be thinking the same thing, or I might have presented something 3 months ago, and you thinking you were the only person who was thinking about that. That's where it gets tricky, because people just send. I've got this thing, when someone tries to DM me something, I block it. And I say, please, I do not want to have a problem. Or someone says, I've got an idea for Ona's character. I hear you, but we've got an employed writing room that handles that. So I don't want you down the line to say, but I sent that to Brenda, because you are seeing something that is similar that's on air, and then you think it's your idea. So teach yourself to protect your work and research. I can never say it enough. NAVF. Spend time on that platform. Yeah, it's got so much information. The KZ one as well. Yeah. It really is a good one, because what they do, they are very pro Zulu people. Yes. So they will tell you that this is for people who come from KZN. You're sitting in Johannesburg and you're desperate to put your work out there, but you've got a platform that is literally saying, listen, come, we will grow you. You know, the one that you're talking about, the MultiChoice one, it's a great place to be. And Actor Space, guys, it really is introducing ways for you to know how to get an agency, how to represent yourself with management, they've got workshops. Yeah. You know, as good as a school. Take the time to go to those places. Don't see a post saying that pay 600 Rand, I'll make you a star. No, who's ever become a star from 600? You're going to get into trouble. You are really going to get into trouble. Young girls, please, I'm praying and I'm asking and I'm begging you, do the right research before you find yourself somewhere.
Let's just say it as it is. Never, ever, ever go audition in a hotel with somebody that you've never heard of, that you've never verified with somebody else. Yeah. Never, ever, ever find yourself living where you live, especially out of towners. Don't leave Durban, don't leave Eastern Cape, don't leave where you're living to come and audition in Johannesburg with a company that nobody else has ever said to you, I've done that. Or here's the thing that you go, guys, if you're Googling a company and the name does not pop up in the first page. Yes. On Google, that company is not legit. Yeah. You understand? With agencies right now, you can go to the PMA website and you can see all the agents that are there, 100% legit.
There is more than enough information for you to secure yourself. Yeah. So this thing of seeing somebody saying, pay what not, I will get you into House of Zwide, is a lie. Yeah. We don't make people pay to get onto House of Zwide. In fact, we go to agencies and we send out calls and we say, we're looking for this character. And then that character will get it through the agent. You'll come and audition. If it's an open call, on our House of Zwide page or on the ETV page, it will say, auditions for this and this and this and this and this and this at this place. And usually there will be a contact person. You call that person and you say, can I please get more information? But if you're also calling, because nowadays people really invest in doing forgery. They will create a whole page of bomb production, House of Zwide page, which doesn't exist. Please try and verify things. If you can see that the bomb page has got 150 followers, please guys, really honestly speaking. Or 25 followers or 2 posts. No, come on. Let's just take care of ourselves. Let's make sure that we take the time to attend those workshops that are advertised by your actor spaces, your multi-choice. Let's do the right thing. And no one is saying your dream is not valid.
Yeah.
It is very valid, but it's in the manner in how you approach your whole process. You need to learn. You need to put some time into it. It's not going to be an overnight success. Tusombedu was not an overnight success, but she's where she is. And that success is not stopping her from learning more. She's still learning. She's still putting herself together so that she can even surpass her dreams. But people feel like they can wake up today and be a superstar. I don't know. The way up, as quick as it is to go up, it's quick to come down. So,
it's been a lot. Yo, Brenda, thank you so much. You're a busy woman. Congratulations on the success of House of Zide.
Now I know she's not just an actress.
Look, something that I never really thought I would be nominated for. I mean, I'm nominated for a SAFTA for playing a maid. On House of Zide. So the SAFTAs, here they come. I'm looking forward to what the outcome will be on that one.
All right, cool. No. We wish you all the best. And thank you so much for taking the time to come out and educate our people. And I've been in the industry for almost 2 decades. And there are some things that I got from there that I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Kind of thing. And I think these conversations are important, and hopefully we'll get to have more of this as we grow as a platform and, the industry as well. Jabu, you are sitting next to a SAFTA-nominated actress. How about you go next?
The question that you asked, because she mentioned that people can approach people in the industry just to get help and try and get information. So my biggest concern is that the fact that sometimes you approach those people, but you don't know how to protect your work, as you had mentioned before. That
then don't send it. Don't just send me work. Find a way. There's an old school way, and I want to clarify something. As much as I'm speaking like this, I'm not a guru to this industry. There are things that somebody will question and say after this and say, but that's not right. It's okay. I'm also still in my process of learning. You know what I mean? But I was taught something where, listen, there's a writers guild where you can also get your IP protected. I was also told that it's as good as if you take your document, put it in an envelope, close it off and mail it to yourself. It withstands, from the date you mailed it to yourself, it actually stands as protection for your IP. I don't know how valid that is in this day and age.
It's an old school way of doing things. It's like when they used to tell us, it was a common thing where you take the newspaper of that day and then, you take pictures of that with, your document. With your document and all of that. So that proves that document existed on that date before you emailed it to somebody else. You get what I'm saying? But my thing is if you have to go through all those processes, it means that you're not immersing yourself in the world that you want to get into. Does that make sense? If I have to do that when I job, it means I'm not connecting with the people within the industry to be able to know the proper channels of doing that. Because here's the thing, correct me if I'm wrong, an idea goes from an idea to becoming sort of like a product that needs to be, allocated budget, that needs to be whatever. Before it even gets to the channel will want to know the budget for that. That's why channels will sometimes say, partner with a producer so that you can have those things, whatever. So now, I'm thinking that the best way to protect yourself, the best way for that idea to even have a chance is for you to go through the channels within the industry instead of trying to go through the individuals.
Yes.
I think for me, that is the best way.
Yes. Like I sound like a parrot. Send your work to the platforms, to your NAV apps. They've got these different funding projects that come up quarterly. You can do that. There's so many ways, guys. There's so many call-outs. SABC is doing call-outs all the time for different things. But when you're sending it to me, you risk me taking it. Or you risk seeing it on air with someone else doing it. And again, ideas are ideas, I might write a story about us right now in this room, and it's similar to what you were dreaming about last night.
Exactly.
I didn't steal it. It's an idea.
Madam, you have to go get to work and create more bigger stories and interesting stories. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really appreciative of this, and I hopefully our viewers learned a lot. whatever questions you have, I'm sorry, you're going to have to put them in the comment sections. I'll try and get them to her, but she might only answer them in 2025.
No.
When you have her back again, I can come to ruin this after Pili and then create another story and create another something. When you come back, we might just ask. No, I'm kidding. Look, if you have any questions that you want to ask pertaining to this conversation, put them down there. And if we are able, we'll be able to get some answers for you. Keep them to the conversation that we had here, okay? That makes it easier. But otherwise, you have socials, right? Instagram?
I do. I'm very much active on Instagram.
No, nothing wrong with that. Well, I apologize, Anya.
Because okay, it's how about Twitter?
Yeah, okay,
really
which is okay. It's not for everybody.
Facebook, I find it too active for me. But I do have a page on Facebook, but my main page is brenda.mukwevho on Instagram. Yeah,
brenda.mukwevho on Instagram. Go follow her. And, she's an amazing actress. She's an amazing creative. She's the creative director of House of Zwide. Watch House of Zwide on ETV 7:30 daily?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock daily. 7 o'clock daily. But yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Jabu? Sharp, ne?
Yeah, nothing.
Sharp.
Thank you.